Hey everyone, I thought I'd share a story with you all. So it was around 2 years ago at camp. Um, we were just hanging out, playing games and having fun, right? And learning more and more about who God is and the love of God and stuff. Anyway, so it was my night for the testimony because each night we'd have a campfire. And during the campfire, different people would share a testimony and a bit of a story, a biblical story or something like that. And this was the night of my testimony, okay? So around 2 years ago, I was supposed to give my testimony. And I was feeling all anxious and nervous and scared inside and all these kinds of thoughts all over the place. And yeah, I didn't really want to do it. Okay? Because I'm like, God, how can I give a testimony? I don't have a testimony, right? Okay, long story short, before my testimony, we were all playing a game, and the loser of the game would have to jump in the pond. God knows how dirty that pond is. I didn't want to go in, right? It was a deep reason for me, the disgustingness of the pond, but it was an even deeper reason because I was very insecure about the way I looked, about my body. Like I was a twig, I was a walking beanstick. I was skinny. Even now I'm pretty skinny, right? Still skinny. But anyway, so I was going to have to jump in because guess what? My team lost. My team lost this game, and it was the crowd that would decide who would go in the pond and who would not go in the pond, right? So the loudness of their cheer saying, I want this team to go in the pond, they would have to go in the pond. And so we had to go in the pond. But before the game even begun, or before the cheering even begun, I said in my mind and my heart, I am not going into that pond. There is no chance I'm going into that pond. And I never actually went into the pond. So here's the story. So I was supposed to go into the pond, and I just wouldn't go. And so the crowd is looking at me with just absolute disgust. Just like they're so mad at me. Even some of the staff were just looking at me like, we got to punish this kid later. And I'm just thinking to myself, God, what's wrong with me? My whole team's going into the pond, but I'm not because I'm too insecure about how my body would look without a shirt on. And as it was dirty, I wasn't jumping in without a shirt on. So I'm like, well, God, so be it. I'm leaving them. I should be ashamed of myself. I'm letting my team go in the pond. I'm not going with them. Everybody in the campfire's mad at me. They're all looking at me with disgust. Almost everybody. And so I was feeling so ashamed. And here's the thing. This was my big night. This was my night for the testimony, to share my testimony, which I didn't even think I had. So it took vulnerability to share the testimony, let alone how much more vulnerability when you're looked at with disgust. That the thoughts racing my mind, the moment I go stand up there and have the microphone, I'm going to be booed. Ouch. Right? So I was terrified. And so before I went up for my testimony, the person was still talking. After I didn't go in the pond, I went to sit down. I just felt the looks of everybody on me. And I just felt horrible. So down to the earth, so ashamed, so ridiculed, so diswanted in that place. I felt rejected, abandoned, and you name it, I felt it. So the guy's talking, what are we going to do next in camp and stuff like that. And I'm just looking at the ground like, God. I'm not even looking at God. I'm too ashamed to look at God. I'm looking at the ground. I have my hood on, or my hat, sorry. I'm looking at the ground. I'm not looking left or right, front or back. I am just looking at the ground. Thinking to myself, man, just feel horrible. Just absolutely horrible. And then all of a sudden, I choose to look up. So I stop looking at the ground, I just look up. And I'm telling you, the moment I looked up, the shame left immediately. The moment I looked up, courage came rushing in like a flood. Why? Because the moment I looked up, I had this knowing, this overwhelming feeling that Jesus Christ was just smiling at me, that my Father was smiling at me. All it took was looking up, and all of a sudden I felt him smile at me. And what did that do? That made me smile. And so now I have courage to preach my testimony. So now it's my turn to go and preach my testimony. And now these things are at battle with each other inside me. The fact that I just know Jesus just smiled at me, and the fact that everybody is looking down on me. So I go to share my testimony. And the first thing I say is this: feeling ashamed and stuff. As you guys know, I didn't go in the pond. And then in courage, I was authentic. I said this. I'm like, I didn't go in the pond, but I will still take my shirt off right now, and I will go jump in the pond before I share my testimony. Why would I say that? Because I had the knowing that my Father smiled at me. And when I knew that my Father smiled at me, nothing else in the whole world mattered to me in that moment of raw intimacy. Because when he smiled, I had no choice to smile but to smile. And I find it's when we experience him smiling at us that our whole being just moves in accordance with that smile, and we smile back. And we're able to have compassion on ourselves. And we're able to love ourselves when we can see ourselves the way he sees us. Again, these were people that were Christians in the crowd, in the campfire pit. They were Christians, but they looked at me with such disgust. And I felt so disgusting, too disgusting to look up. But all it takes is looking up. I just looked up. And he smiled. I know he smiled. Now, I didn't see him smile, but I just had that knowing in my soul. Like, this is the thing that my soul has been crying out for this entire time. And I didn't even know what that was until I looked up. And then I was able to share my testimony. And here's the thing I want to leave you guys with, is that when you feel so down to the ground and you don't want to look up and you want to feel hidden and you want to be hidden from the world, you don't want to be seen, and you feel so ashamed, whether it's because of what someone's done to you or because of what you've did. Yes, what someone else does to us, what we've gone through, can also bring so much shame, not just what we have done. And so I want to encourage you guys with this. Look up. Look back up. And see your Father who is smiling at you, who's looking at you, how he sees his son Jesus. Because remember, Jesus took our place. And so we can look back up, we can smile. So in that chaos, in that feeling like you want to hide, like you don't want to be seen by nobody, I was there. I'm there daily. It's a whole walk, it's a journey. But just look up and experience God.